Hello and welcome to Estuary TV News. I hope you had a good weekend. On today's show I have with me Ian Lavelle, Head of Communications at North East Lincolnshire Council, for our weekly newspaper review. But first, here's James Dunn with the news headlines.
Hello, in the headlines today, new speed limits have been imposed across North Lincolnshire and Grimsby actress Julie Peasgood comes back to her hometown. North East Lincolnshire Council has contracted out services for people with drug and alcohol problems, saving £5 million over 3 years. It's estimated that in the 2014 to 15 financial year, around 1,000 people will access drug treatment, but the local authority say the current provisions will be maintained. It will be run by a partnership of Care Plus Group, the Alcohol and Drug Services and Rotherham, Doncaster and South Humber NHS Foundation from the 1st of July. Toyota owners in Yorkshire and Lincolnshire are being asked to check their model numbers on the manufacturer's website after they announced a recall of millions of vehicles. The companies recalled RAV4, Hilux, Yaris and Urban Cruiser models, totalling 35,000 UK cars. 20 new speed limits have come into force in North Lincolnshire. A legal order made by the council came into force on Friday, imposing new 30 and 50 mph speed limits in various places across the county. But speed limit signs have yet to be erected in many of the 20 locations. You can find out where the new speed limits have been introduced by visiting North Lincolnshire Council's website. The Mayor of North East Lincolnshire spent the day with the Humber RNLI to give credit for the amazing work that they do. Councillor Peggy Elliott travelled with the crew from Spurn Point to Grimsby Fish Docks and welcomed them to lunch at the Town Hall. It's the annual event held by every mayor to say thank you to the charity, which keeps watch over the Humber to keep people safe.
Sometimes people aren't always given the recognition they deserve, but they will be today when I speak at the Town Hall, because it's a fantastic job they do. They put their life on the line and keeping us safe. We are an island, we live near the sea, and we can't do without them, and they do a wonderful job.
Just to let people know we are there. We give a complete free service to the users of the Humber and the surrounding area, and for the civic luncheon it's a nice way of saying thank you to us.
Businesses can take advantage of a unique chance to network at the North Lincolnshire Business Expo tomorrow. 70 exhibitors are taking part in the event at Forest Pines Hotel between 10 AM and 5 PM, and there will be 5 guest speakers, and it's free to attend. Leader of the council, Liz Redfern, said it's the perfect way for businesses to meet in one place and share their wealth of knowledge. East Riding Council has earmarked £18.7 million to support regeneration projects. The council says the money will provide match funding for large-scale projects and could also be used for business rates relief, among other things. They're also discussing Help Our High Streets campaign and capital projects to regenerate Bridlington. Councillor Stephen Parnaby said the future will be on a bidding basis, and the millions set aside will help them apply for funding for other major projects. And finally, Grimsby actress Julie Peasgood was back in her hometown to officially open a craft shop this week. The Emmerdale star cut the ribbon at L&C Fabrics on Grimsby Road after meeting the owner through Workwise Women, a networking group for professional ladies. Julie's a keen crafter who is currently producing a series on the craze to be shown on Estuary TV and wanted to show her support for the local store. So much so that she even held a workshop for local women showing them how to make teddy bears from a simple sock.
I am an avid crafter. I'm doing a series at the moment called Crafty Beggars, but I've crafted all my life. And I was so excited that this shop is opening, L&C Fabrics, on Grimsby Road. And it looks fantastic. Lisa and Claire, her husband Tony and her son Jordan have had the courage to open it's not the most economically viable of climates for a new shop, but I wish them the greatest success and urge anybody to come here because it's a great centre, and I think it's offering something really new for Grimsby and for Cleethorpes. Really proud to be here.
Workwise Women is part of ladies coming together in business, supporting each other. If you've got any concerns about tax issues, opening your business, anything really, you just ring the business hive up and talk to one of the Workwise Women, inspiring women, and they're very supportive and they'll try and lead you on the right track. Through Workwise Women I met Julie Peasgood, and that's how she's come to officially open my store today.
And if you're interested in joining the Workwise Women Network, you can find out more by visiting www.workwisewomen.co.uk. That's all I've got time for today, and I'll see you for the next bulletin. Goodbye.
Thanks, James. And now sat beside me is former chief reporter on the Yorkshire and Sunday and journalist for the Yorkshire Post, Ian Lavelle, who is currently the head of communications at North East Lincolnshire Council. Hello, Ian.
Hi, James.
Thank you for joining me today.
Pleasure.
That's great. So, let's say today we'll talk about some newspaper stories that you've seen in the week that you'd like to talk about. What have you seen?
Quite a few things. Grimsby Telegraph on Thursday. Latest development in the town centre. One of our local firms, Wilkin Chapman Grange, big firm of solicitors, wanting to redevelop their offices in the area. And we've done a deal with the council so that we can build an office development and retail development for them. I think what it does show, it shows the council, it shows private sector and the council working together. Wilkin, Chapman and Grange were considering, as I understand it, leaving the area. They approached the council, said, can you do anything for us? Discussions took place and the Cabinet this week agreed to hopefully press on with negotiations to bring it to an end.
Yes, because that piece of land has been wanted to do something with it for a long time, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. I mean, I think what it does show is some confidence in the town centre from the private sector. Last week we had Freshening Place. Obviously, your viewers will know about the redevelopments taking place around the bus station, etc. I think what it does show is things are beginning to take off. You know, there's a lot of projects that have maybe been on the drawers for a while, but now they're beginning to come to fruition. I think what it does show that there's confidence starting to come back into the town and into the town centre and the area as a whole.
Absolutely, because obviously the recession was a big problem for the projects that the council.
Yes, I think it wasn't just council projects. You know, the whole country with the recession. I think the confidence sort of dropped out of the entire market. There's no doubt there are green shoots of recovery beginning to come through, and I think this is another example. It's not going to happen overnight. It'll be 2016 before hopefully the things are underway and away. But I think what it does show is that if the public sector, the private sector are working together, and I think it sends out a good message to the business community here that it is a council that they can do business with.
Fantastic. So, and the other one you picked up there is the sports there. What stood out to you about this one?
Yeah, I think it's the story is Paul Hurst, the town manager, having a bit of a pop at the fans for giving their successful penalty taker some grief before he took the penalty. Lennell John Lewis took the penalty against Woking that managed to get them a draw. And I think there were quite a lot of fans booing before he stepped up to take it, etc., etc. And you know, quite rightly, Paul's defended the guy. He scored the penalty. I think what it does show, without it just being about town, I think what it does show is it's this sort of, not the attitude, but it's how football fans now are much more vocal in having a go at their players if they don't think they're putting in 100%. And I think, you know, it's reflected. We have all the online chat shows after football matches on the BBC and on local stations. And I think people sometimes are a little bit aggressive, I think I'd use the word, at venting. You know, at the end of the day, this guy's he's doing the job he obviously likes. He can do a job. He's playing for town. He's playing at a decent level. And I don't think it does a lot for football fans, but maybe it's just a reflection of the times we live in terms of sport. Everybody wants to have their say.
Absolutely. So how do you think that affects the game then? Does it think it affects the atmosphere in the pitch? Or?
I think it can do. I mean, you know, fortunately Town are doing quite well this season, but I think, you know, you see examples in some places in Spain where, you know, if they're not happy with what's going on, they regularly wave the white handkerchiefs to show their dismay. You know, in English football, the fans boo, etc., etc. And I think when it happens to one of your own players, you know, it can't be very easy for the players themselves, and you know, for the team as a whole. Because you then, I think, start to get a bit of a fear factor. I better not do anything wrong, so you end up playing safe. So therefore, I think you end up sort of going into your shell a bit. And I think as a sportsman, that must be very difficult, because at the end of the day, you're paid to try and do your best, and if you're scared to do anything, you're not going to be able to do that.
Absolutely. And obviously moving on to something a bit happier now. This is a real feel-good story, this one.
Yeah, terrific. It does show that there are good Samaritans around.
So what is the story then? What's
A lady who I think was walking along Cleethorpes, went to Boy's shop, and when she came out, she got £260 blew away from her purse. And, you know, naturally you'd expect it just to disappear, but strangers, as it says here in the Telegraph, strangers passing by came to her rescue. One brave man even stopped a bus, got up to 10 other people. She got 240 of her £260 back. I think that's terrific. You know, it does show that despite everybody moaning and groaning about how it's a very selfish world, there are some lovely people about. And I think, you know, the lady herself, she's terrific. She's saying she was particularly impressed with this guy who risked his own life going in front of the bus. I think she looks or sounds a little bit embarrassed about letting it go out of her purse. But I just think it's terrific that the honesty of people, you know, she's an old lady. People could have quite easily just picked up the money and walked off. She wouldn't have been able to do anything about it. But as she says, the more I think about it, the more I smile. And I think, you know, stories like that, terrific.
But you know, really instills that kind of faith in humanity, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. You know, humanity generally gets quite a bad press these days, and I just think when things like that happen, it does show that underneath it all, you know, we're not all bad people.
We're not all criminals, are we?
No, not at all. I think the interesting thing would be, I'm not sure whether it would be a criminal offence if you just found £10 or £20 lying in the street. You wouldn't know it'd come from her. But, you know, these people were terrific.
Fantastic. And then obviously the regional growth grants, the one you was looking at earlier.
Yeah.
This is a major thing for local businesses and small businesses.
It is. I mean, I'm sure your viewers will know about the LEP and the Regional Growth Fund, lots of money coming into the area. What has been the case with some of these grants is that some of them are sometimes at slightly higher threshold to help all small businesses. What we've managed to do is the council is agree with the LEP and the Regional Growth Fund that the threshold, which used to be £20,000, but to do that you needed to match fund it, I think, by 3 times that much. They've now agreed that we can reduce this to 5,000. So clearly, for much smaller businesses, that's a terrific opportunity for them. I mean, this week we gave some money to a recycling firm who were naturally quite pleased to have it. We are hoping, you know, the council is going to various places, contacting through the local business organisations to get more people to know about this. And, you know, there are stipulations which you'd fully expect there to be with grants. But I think what it does do, it means that some of these grants and some of the opportunities for the LEP money aren't just going to the big businesses. Clearly one of the main aims of the LEPs and these regional growth funds is to try and help the smaller links in the chain, not just the big guys at the top. And I think, you know, it's terrific that it's been agreed to reduce this threshold so that more of the smaller companies, and I think, you know, I happily speak for our economic and regeneration team and say, get in touch with the council. We're administering some of this. We've got people there that can work. But I think the actual fact that this money can get spent now and we can get on with it is, again, good news for the business and hopefully good news for local people.
Great stuff, yeah. So it's a real positive all-round story, really, in all.
Yeah, it is. I mean, some of the firms have already taken advantage. As I mentioned, the guy with the recycling firm, he's taken advantage of this. Grants been given. There's lots of people out there. There's lots of links in the chain. Lots of small businesses.
That's great. I'm sorry I have to stop you there. Well, thank you very much for your time. That's it from Estuary News TV today. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you have a news story for us, then please do get in touch by calling 01472 315 561, or you can email us at news@estuary.tv, tweet us, or find us on Facebook. And that's it for news today. See you next time.